and welcome to episode 35 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who are the babies with me today?
Stefan, JD.
Somehow still alive, Stuart Hughes.
And I'm Justin Hamm from the Nerds Without Pants podcast and also the Clickbait Update podcast.
Damn it. Our special guest. I was trying to mute it, but I couldn't. I'm like, nobody. We'll see. All right. Well, yeah, I'm glad to have you on. We had Julian Titus on our episode 19 back with Blood Omen. So nice to have another one of you guys from the Nerds Without Pants.
Yeah, you got the much less enthusiastic person on this time. So
long ago.
Oh, got it. Well, it wasn't long. I mean, he's coming back actually in October. We're doing another game that he's going to be joining us again.
Hell yeah.
Spoilers. Now everybody knows.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to another podcast called Next to Nothing. And it is a podcast. And I'm not prepared for this. All right. It is a show about not wasting your money in gaming, hosted by Twitch streamers Danny K and Rendish. Catch it live on Twitch, and there will be a link in the show notes for his podcast. So if you guys need another podcast to add to your rotation, take a look at his show. And I think I'll introduce the game that we're playing this week, since it essentially became my pick. Originally, this was DJ's pick, but then we lost DJ. And we were supposed to play Yoshi's Island DS, but instead, we went with the first Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, the first one.
The first Super Mario World 2.
Yes.
The very first
Yoshi's
number
Island.
2.
Hey, this is actually a game. Yes.
I actually had to look it up on our list today. I was like, wait, am I playing the right one? I was so scared I was halfway through the wrong one.
I was convinced because I remember, I think Game Informer did a replay of it a long ass time ago, and they kept joking that it was like, or there was like some joke that it, like one of them didn't think that Yoshi's Island was Super Mario World 2. And so I was like slowly convincing myself that I was playing the wrong game the entire week.
I wish you guys would have played the wrong game and then came on here and talked about it. So like all of our notes would have been totally different. It would have been great.
We've nearly done it before. I almost, as a joke, a friend of mine, Sam Mercer, has guested on several episodes. And as a joke, several times I've been like, I should just tell him the wrong game. I should just tell him a different game that we're playing.
I thought about doing that. I thought about playing through like Ace Combat 2 and just coming on here.
That would
and
be hilarious, especially
that.
since we've canceled Ace Combat 2 like 5 times.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He was the guy I almost got for that game, and then we just went, screw that, why are we playing this shit? And
The annoying thing is because we've talked about Ace Combat like every fucking week, I get ads for Ace Combat non-stop. Like, a day does not go by where I don't get like 5 Ace Combat ads where it's like, this guy talks about Ace Combat all the time. He must love it.
I mean, Ace Combat does have the space elevators, so
It's true.
I mean that is fantastic. And JPEG Dog.
I think one of the ads even said like space elevators. Play Ace Combat 2. Like the game is still super relevant somehow.
I mean that's the main point of the game is you get in the space elevator. I still haven't figured out what it does. I think it's an elevator which puts you into space somehow, but the game never really tells you. But apparently it's very important. That was Ace Combat 7 though, not Ace Combat 2.
Which I kind of want to just skip to the one where like you have a fucking laser jet for some reason. At some point they were like, this is no longer a flight sim. This is a space game now.
I mean, well, essentially Ace Combat is just all about people who want to have sex with airplanes. So if you look at it like that, I mean, it's essentially a dating sim.
I'm still super disappointed they didn't just change the name to Space Combat.
Space. Oh man.
Anyway, back to the game we're supposed to be talking
Yoshi's
about.
Island.
First, I want to say that this actually was a game my mom found back in the day, so that's why I was excited to actually talk about it again. I don't think I asked for it. I think she just bought it for me. I think this might have been my first Mario game too that I ever played, even though I should have.
Mario game too.
And I. Did you actually? I was going to ask, have you played it before? Or this is your first time playing it?
This is my first time playing this particular Mario game. I've played every Mario up until this one. This one came out in 95, correct? Which
Good
was
question.
Yes, I believe it was 1995. I did the research. No, it was 1995, which was around the time when like the original PlayStation and the Sega Saturn were also coming out. And what was that? 95, I would have been 9 years old. Yeah, 9-year-old me did not give half a shit about the SNES at that point. After seeing Virtua Fighter 2, I was like, no, this is the future of gaming, and I didn't care about pixel graphics anymore.
It's fun how we go back to every single game. Like, if like you go back to any even remotely updated game, like when it comes out, everyone's like, "This is the future. This is all games are gonna look like this from now on." It's like you're talking about like the first Pokemon. You're like, "This is the future of gaming. Nothing will ever look as good as this 8-bit Charizard."
Oh man.
Hey, that 8-bit Charizard still looks good.
I mean, there were things out at that time that looked better than that 8-bit Charizard. So
Yes.
But there's a bike, so the best game ever.
How about you, Stu? Was this your first time playing this game?
This was, I think, my second time playing the game. I played this game on there was the SNES has had so many like little tiny releases. I feel like over the years, like so many arcade versions of the SNES have come out at some point, and I think I got like an SNES like arcade like party system or something for Christmas one year. Because it was like for my grandmother, who was like, "Hey, you like video games? Here's a bunch of video games from 50 years ago." Hyperbole, obviously, but
right.
I went in and they had like Super Mario Brother 2 or Super Mario World 2 and a couple other like old SNES titles. And so I think I played Yoshi's Island and like one of the Metroids or something at some point. But I don't remember anything else about it.
It wasn't probably. Yeah, it'd have probably been Super Metroid if it was a Super NES thing.
It wasn't until I replayed Yoshi's Island for this episode that I was like, "Oh yeah, I have played this game before."
Yeah, I've like touched it before. Like I definitely played it at like a Toys R Us, but it was also next to Virtua Fighter 2, so it made me want to play it a lot less.
The future of gaming.
The future of gaming.
Nothing will ever be as good as Virtua Fighter 2.
Nothing. It never was.
All the crying doesn't help either.
Yeah, no, that didn't help either.
Oh, how about you, Stefan?
My only memory of this game is the infamous Sega does what Nintendo don't, because it's the guy from Run DMC or something. I'm gonna feel really bad if it's not him, and I'm just comparing all black people to looking alike. But I think it was the dude from Run DMC. Yeah, DMX.
It was DMX.
DMX.
Okay, and
that's a Nintendo's role.
Yeah, he's like, do you want to play this? And it shows the crying Mario and Yoshi, and he's like, or do you want to play this? And he shows Sonic like speeding through everything. And that's my only memory of this game.
Yeah, nothing will ever look as bad as Sonic.
I now really wish it was like the song "You Can Get With This" or "You Can Get With That," just comparing Nintendo and Sega. That would be great.
It's like those old like Reading Rainbow DMX mashups.
I've never heard one of those. That sounds fantastic.
Oh my god! Yeah, you've got some research to do after this, man.
Yeah, for sure.
They're fantastic.
Oh. Okay,
I'll suck my dick.
By the way, I didn't want to play this game. When I saw it on the list, I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, you didn't get a chance to finish it, did you? I know you're having issues with saving.
No, I got halfway through it.
Oh, Stefan and I got about the same length.
Oh, you didn't finish either?
Because God himself was preventing me from doing anything this fucking week.
Sure, why don't you... I don't even know what happened this week.
Is it time for a short little rant here?
Yeah,
I mean, this whole episode
we were initially supposed to record this episode yesterday, which my apologies to our audience for me causing the episode to be late, but our hurricane was supposed to hit us. For like I was like, yeah, it should be fine. Like, I doubt it's gonna hit us. And then Monday hit, and they were like, it's definitely gonna kill you all. I was like, okay, well, that's not quite what I heard, but we'll see.
But Stu, you're not in Alabama. So you should be safe.
I'm not in Alabama. Yeah,
in Alabama. So I don't know how it hit Virginia. Sorry, keep going.
Well, it's okay because I crossed off Virginia with a Sharpie, and so it just swerved past us.
I was gonna say, is that how they advertised it on the news? This hurricane is coming and will definitely kill you. So
that's usually how they. I was about to say promote hurricanes. That's not accurate, but
promote. Yeah, we got to promote the hurricanes.
It is also partially. If anyone's ever watched the Weather Channel, they love telling you that anything is going to kill you, and you need to watch the Weather Channel 24/7, or else you'll die.
Yes, that sounds right. That sounds completely accurate.
There was an anchor on like one of our local channels that was like trying to workshop little catchphrases, like little hurricane catchphrases. But she kept saying, like every 5 minutes she'd have a new like little weird rhymey catchphrase. Like one was remember kids, turn around, don't drown. but they played it over an image of a woman like. She used that catchphrase, clearly not looking at the monitor to see what the B-roll was, because it was a woman like walking out of her house through 4 feet of water carrying a dog. I was like, if this woman turns around, everyone drowns. This is inaccurate at all.
You can't survive this podcast, or you can't survive this storm. I'm trying to think of more hurricane puns. You can't eat this candy cane.
I hope this podcast doesn't blow.
Yeah. Wind.
What a twister.
Oh yeah, so yeah, like halfway through the hurricane, we started getting reports of tornadoes splitting off from the hurricane. They're like, well, if the hurricane doesn't kill you, the tornadoes definitely will. So we were like, okay, we need to be ready for this. So I spent all week like battering down the hatches, getting ready for this fucking hurricane. I like at some point we had to go down to the had to go down to North Carolina and make sure a bunch of people were okay down there, like board up people's houses and shit. And then it split off, didn't even touch us. And I was like, okay, well, that's great. That means I can totally record the podcast on Sunday because the power won't be out. It's all perfect. And the next night I was like, you know what? A hurricane didn't hit us. I'm feeling good. I'm going to go celebrate. So I was like, I haven't had Wendy's in a really long time. I'm going to go get Wendy's. I don't care that it's 10 o'clock at night. Went to Wendy's. I got back home within, I'd say like I got just like, I get what I always got. I got like a spicy chicken sandwich, ate it. 5 minutes later, I was like, my stomach feels a little weird. Hard cut to like an hour later, I am trying to scream a demon out into the fucking toilet.
Oh.
Like nonstop puking all night long. Texted Mike.
You just got the spicy chicken as well? That was it?
I just got the spicy chicken.
Oh,
I got like a combo. So
I was gonna say if you had chili, man, I do not trust the chili.
I did not get the chili. I got what I always used to get. I haven't had Wendy's in a while, so I was like, I don't know if like not having it for a couple of months upset my stomach or what, or if I just got some bad chicken.
Right.
But I was like mid puking, and I was like puking the next morning. Still, I was like, I feel awful. I was messaging Mike like, "Hey, don't think I'm gonna be on this episode. We'll push it back." I was like, "Yeah, are you sure?" And he's like, "We're sure." And I'm like, "All right." Like all day today, I was like, "Podcast is at 7. Podcast is at 7. I can't miss the podcast. I've already pushed it back. We had a guest, and I pushed it back. I go to pick up my sister, and all right, 30 minutes of postponing. Is that going to be okay? And I was like, yes, unless God himself wills otherwise, that should be fine. I am driving home, and I shit you not, there is a fucking family of ducks crossing the entire 4-lane road. I'm like, I am never getting on this fucking podcast.
Well, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad God doesn't hate you too much. He clearly hates you, and I'm sorry for that. But
there was a point where I was like, I'm gonna kill this family of fucking ducks.
And then watch your car will break down because the ducks clog water.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, if I hit these ducks, it's like I'm gonna have like an engine full of ducks. My fucking brakes are gonna go out. I'm gonna fly off this bridge into the goddamn swamp.
Oh, you reminded me of a story that had nothing to do with Yoshis Island. But somehow I used to work at the Mall America, and I used to work third shift. And one day I have an old car, and one day I'm going by my car, and it was acting kind of weird. And I saw something sticking out, so I go to grab this thing in the front of my bumper. Somehow, I don't know if either I hit a squirrel climbed into my car. I pulled out a dead squirrel that had been there for at least a month or two because he was all shriveled up, and pulled him out of the car. I'm like, what the hell are you doing in the front of my bumper? Yeah.
That's a sad story.
I don't
know how I got there.
Yeah. Who knows?
Stories from the fucking swamp. I was in the parking garage the other day, and I saw I thought was a little twig sticking out from under my hood. I was like, oh, I must have like a pine needle or something stuck under there. And I went to grab it, and it moved, and I realized that there was a snake in my engine. Nice. In the middle of the parking garage, like trying to yank a snake out of my fucking engine. Somebody driving by was like, "This guy's fucking insane."
There's a snake in my boots.
I'm glad I live in Ohio and I don't have snakes in my engine or anything like that.
Yeah, I live in Minnesota. I'm content. There's no hurricanes hitting me.
Right.
I'm good.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, Ohio's the same way.
The swamp's of Chesapeake.
Yeah. All right. I think we'll talk. Let's talk about Mario. Only
Introduce
15
the game,
minutes.
Mike. What are we playing?
I did it.
Been a while.
But see, maybe it was Kamek was screwing up your whole week. He was flying around going and shooting his little thing and making ducks appear and making Medicare
I was like, what did I do? I did something to somebody this week. I don't know what I did or what I said, but somebody has it out for me.
Wendy's, it's like being possessed by a deadite.
It's like a fucking witch listened to our last episode of the podcast and was like, fuck this guy.
Oh, that last episode made no sense. But near to Killer
Yeah.
7.
Oh, that last episode was fantastic. I love anime nonsense. It's my favorite kind of nonsense. And yeah,
Goichi Suda listened to our last
yes.
episode and was like, I'm gonna curse this motherfucker.
Oh, so I actually didn't know this when I was a kid because apparently I didn't read or something. I just found out when I played this game for this episode. It's a prequel. I always thought Baby Mario was Baby Mario's son. I never put two and two together. But this is Baby Mario and Baby Luigi from the Mario series.
Yeah, because it's always confusing how both of them are in Mario Kart Double Dash together. I always thought that was weird.
Right.
Yeah.
I completely skipped the opening intro sequence part and just went straight into the game. And then I didn't realize what the game was actually doing until the very end of it, which we'll get to. And I was like, oh, that's what this game's about? Oh, all right. Sure. I didn't realize there was a next level story going on with Mario, but
Skip it, which everyone does. I
This is
did
how-
when I was a kid.
I mean, this is how Mario comes into contact. This is how Mario becomes best friends with the Yoshis.
well, I mean, it's very important that we talk about the story. The story is that Mario is being delivered to his parents, who are unknown at this point, by the stork, and somebody kidnaps the baby Mario and hits the stork. I think the stork was injured. I'm not 100% on that. They capture the stork as well. So now he lands on Yoshi's Island, where all the Yoshis apparently live for some fucking reason. I don't understand why they all live together, but they do. They have parties every day.
I like how
drink
that's
a
the
lot.
part you don't understand. Not the Yoshis turning into like helicopters and shit.
Oh no, that's completely explainable. You see, Yoshis are magic, and magic explains everything.
But as we all know, magic people cannot live with other magic people. So
Well, that's also yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly my point. Is magicians hate each other, so I don't understand how these Yoshis all get along as well as they do. But yeah, then Mario lands on the island, and Baby Mario is all like, hey, I have this note for some reason, and we should go to this Bowser's castle, and because I think stuff's happened there. And Yoshis are all like, okay. And that's the game. That's the setup. That's the advanced setup to the game.
What if what if Baby Mario was really supposed to be Bowser's kid, and that's why he had this note?
Well,
Bowser's in this game and it's Baby Bowser, but
I was just gonna say no spoilers, but there is a Baby Bowser and he does show up. So
it's a Mario game. There's always a Bowser.
Plus, when a game comes out in 95 and it's 2019, I'm not worried anymore.
Yeah.
Especially no one's playing this game for the story.
It's a Mario game. If you thought Bowser wasn't involved, then you're an idiot.
Right.
It's on you at this point.
No. I always thought it was Bowser's kid. I didn't realize till this time it's actually Bowser as a baby. I'm like, oh.
No, Bowser's kid is Bowser Jr. and all those other Bowsers that we don't talk about anymore.
I thought this was Bowser Jr. in this game. I never realized it was Bowser as a baby until this time I played it.
It does mean that Bowser and Mario are like the same age.
Oh,
roughly.
One thing I do want to say, this game doesn't really have a health bar or anything. It has a timer. And like all Mario games. Yeah, which is cool unless you jump in a hole. Then you're not, but that's normal.
Well, there are
he dies
spikes,
instantly on spikes.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
What if it cut to like a Tomb Raider reboot like level death scene where it's just like that's the only time in the game. It's like super cartoony and comic booky and fun, but then when you fall in a hole, it goes to like hardcore Yoshi death scene. It's just
man, I would kill for a mature rated Yoshi's Island where like there's just like spikes sticking out of Yoshi's neck and shit. That would be great.
But it's
play that.
just when you fall down a pit. Like everything else is totally fine, but when you
No,
fall
no, no.
in a
I
pit,
want it
it's
like all the
completely
time.
over the
Like
top.
he's just being like eaten and having his head torn off by things like Yoshi level fatalities. I want all that.
You just want you just want a good Jurassic Park game.
That's something like that, but with Yoshi. Because
Can we talk
after this
about-
game, fuck Yoshi.
Can we talk about how depraved Yoshis are? Actually, they're like a really disgusting animal.
Yeah.
All they
They are
do is
gross.
eat things, shit out eggs, and then
That's
kill
right.
their babies. That's
That's
all they do.
And that's not
It's
like
also-
the idiom, like Yoshis aren't writers that are just constantly scrapping their stories. Like they're actually killing their babies.
Right. It's also very unexplained how there's like a flower that magically has access to a lot of Yoshi eggs and will constantly spit them at you in times when you need eggs.
I like how
yeah.
Yeah.
I like how sometimes they just forget what colors exist for Yoshis too. Like you think that they would go like through all the like primary colors and then the secondary colors, but at some point they just like forget and they're like, fuck it, brown Yoshi, why not?
Yeah.
Pink, purple. Yeah, I mean it's. And also one thing I don't think maybe a kid has realized this. You're a whole tribe of Yoshis, and each level is a different Yoshi, and they pass them off to the next Yoshi to keep going to carry the baby
Right.
all the way to the castle.
Yeah.
Is that
It's
the
like
technical term
decathlon.
for multiple Yoshis?
Yoshi.
A murder of Yoshis.
A murder of Yoshis.
I mean, there was a lot of murdering Yoshis going on in this game. I
was
saved the
that.
state, but I did die a lot. Oh, as I was saying earlier, so the game doesn't have a health system as a timer, and the timer always has 10 seconds to start with, and you can get more time from little stars. You can get more time from checkpoints. And only thing that happens, like if he gets hit whenever you get hit once and then you lose Baby Mario, he goes in the bubble, you go wah wah, and you can hear
It's a
that
super
all the
great
time.
noise.
No, terrible.
I have it as my ringtone now. Never miss a call. Yeah.
So that is your ringtone and your text tone is the Yoshi just screaming for its life.
Yeah. Yes. Honestly, I would probably kill myself if that was my ringtone instantly, just right now.
Just done.
The
Just
only
kill-
reason
just die.
I'm like happy that we picked this game for this episode was because I know I can do a fairly good Yoshi impression. It's like, yeah, I finally get to break that out.
Hell yeah.
And so you lose him, and anytime you get hit after that, you just like get dazed and spin. So the whole idea of the enemies try to stop you, so you can't get back to the bubble of Baby Mario floating around. And as the timer runs down to 0, a bunch of K-Mechs or whatever. No, K-Mech is whatever those little red things come flying that are in no other game, I don't think, and take away Baby Mario.
Yeah.
Also,
They're
one-
bandits.
And
They're called bandits.
Yep.
Okay.
This game, one thing I think is interesting about this game is that this is like the first real Mario game to have Shy Guys in it since Mario 2, which is not a Mario game.
This game, if I had to compare it to anything, it would be kind of a cross between Mario World and Super Mario 2. It actually has a lot of like, just because like the platforming itself feels kind of floaty in it. Like you have the jump, but like there's also that little like you can hold the button in and kind of get an extra float with it.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Mario 2 in certain aspects. Like even the way you like kind of slide around and stuff like that. It has a very Mario 2 feel, but like not totally obviously, but like and like it has a weird mechanics too, like the egg shooting and all this other stuff. It was a really ambitious game. Like
oh yeah, absolutely.
looking at it, especially for the time, like but yeah,
And
I don't know.
The sheer amount of enemies is also insane. Like,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
so many different unique enemies.
And they're
actually.
constantly changing like every world for the
Yeah.
most part. There's like a few like standbys, like there's always Shy Guys and they're like fodder enemies. They're basically
Food.
from whatever, yeah, exactly, for food, to give you eggs. Like every time you see one you're like, "Oh, there's something I'm going to need to shoot coming up. I need to eat these." So,
And even
yeah.
then, there's not just Shy Guys. There's also like Fly Guys and Flamer Guys, and my favorite Fat Guy.
yeah, there's
I like the fat
Fat
guys. They give
guys.
you fat eggs.
yeah, those are great.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite are the baseball guys who, if you
Oh,
shoot an egg
yeah.
at them, they'll hit the egg back at you, or they'll
Mhm.
throw eggs at you because they're a catcher.
I like
I really like
the
those.
MMA fighting guys that would launch fireballs at you. Those guys were fantastic.
I did not like the karate ones later on.
I
in the
never
game.
had too much of an issue with them, but I liked those guys. I fucking okay. It's well documented on the Nerds Without Pants podcast that I have a severe issue and fucking absolute hatred for Lakitu, and he's in this game, and he is a goddamn menace in this game. Holy shit! Because
It's
it's
awful.
like before it wasn't as bad because he was just like, hey, I'm gonna throw Spiky on the ground. You got to jump over it, and like, all right, it's a pain in the ass. All right, but now he has like homing techniques. What the fuck kind of bullshit is this?
He's got like the same cursor that Yoshi has when throwing an egg, and like it will like lock onto you. And
Lagartoo's a goddamn menace.
He's awful.
Yes, he is.
The only time he's ever bearable is when he is starting the races in Double Dash.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
And even then, I don't like him. I just get flashbacks of all the times where I got killed unfairly by his dumb ass. And even if he kills me, he comes back, it's bullshit. I hate that guy.
I really like the dangling ghosts, which to me always look like a condom hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Just a full condom that somebody like stapled up to the ceiling that's just chilling there.
Somebody's constantly blowing into it.
Yeah. It's just so disgusting. It's something about the shape of it is just so suggestive and awful.
Right. I really, as you were saying earlier, I mean, it is nice the amount of variety you get in this game with the enemies and the levels. One enemy that always pissed me off that I love killing are the fucking monkeys in World 3.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if we talk about those. Yeah, the monkeys were you could only kill them. What was it, by shooting eggs, or like you could eat them and stuff, but like half time they were hiding, they'd always run away from you, and then they'd sometimes just charge and like steal Mario, and you'd have to go chase him down. Yeah,
they were called grinders. So I have got like the full list of enemies pulled up, and I honestly I was like I tried to count them and I just stopped at 30. I was like, yeah, it's too much. I'm not gonna bother.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
I can't count past 30. You know, I never finished second grade, so it's pretty rough.
Oh, and this game is broken up into 6 worlds, and each world has 10 stages, and 2 castles. One's a mini boss, one's a boss.
There's 7 stages, I believe. There's 3 levels, and then there will be a castle, and then I believe 2 more levels in a castle, something like that. So
I didn't count
7.
very well.
There's also like 2 bonus stages too.
I didn't see any of those. So.
Yeah, I seen none of those myself. I was hoping somebody else did.
In order to get those bonus stages, you have to get each level. You have to get 30 stars, which are the thing for the timer. You can easily get those a lot of different ways, but you got to have 30 stars when you finish the level. You got to get all 5 flowers in the level, and you got to get 20 red coins, which are hidden as normal coins. You have to jump and get them, and you got to do it in every level to unlock the bonus levels.
Oh, none of that was ever happening in the game I was playing.
Oh, it's fucking hard.
I will say, because I played on the Switch, which I am the Switch witch. I played on the Switch witch. That's probably why I'm cursed. What the fuck? I played on the Switch, which gives you like the saves and the rewind feature, which is super nice.
To play this game.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, like, I that's the only way I can play any platformers if I have that rewind. I suck at platformers, but I still find them enjoyable sometimes. But yeah, like it's a lot easier when you have that functionality where you can say like, all right, I got to the end of the level. Oh, I didn't get all like 5 stars. I need to go back, or 5 flower things. I need to go back and do that again. But you can always like backtrack too.
Yeah. I was not doing that. I was like playing on a PC on an emulator, and because I tried to give Nintendo money for this game, I was gonna play it. My full plan was I was gonna play this on the 3DS, and I was gonna like full blown go like, all right, I'm gonna play this the legitimate way. I'm gonna not have any save states or any of that. And within like 2 levels, I was like, no, we're doing this all the time. There's save states going on every time I get a break. Because this is not cool.
This game gets really fucking hard, especially in the last world. It is. I mean, I could have maybe done it, but it would have taken me months to sit there and just keep practicing certain levels. And also, if you load up your save, whatever lives you had are gone. It goes right back to 5. Even though you can keep them all as you play, but if you save the legit way and then load your save, you're down to 5 again. It doesn't hold them.
Well, I'm sure am glad I played the way I played then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this game is tough. And also, since we haven't really mentioned it, Yoshi has a couple different ways to attack. He can either eat people and turn them into eggs, or he can shoot eggs, which, yeah, you shoot eggs. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, the egg shooting is like one of my biggest problems, though, because every now and then there are some bullshit moments where it asks you to shoot an egg at an enemy while you're avoiding other things, and there's no like real aim. It's not like modern game design where you would just use the other analog stick to aim this egg. Nope. It's a timer thing, so it's like it just constantly ticks up and down. and
This
you
is a
have to
SNES
basically
Game Boy.
time
What
it.
other analog stick are you talking about?
Right, exactly. We fixed this in newer video game consoles, but like at the time they didn't have that technology. So this was all they had was, hey, you got to time it just right. You can hold a trigger to stop the aimer thing, the cursor, but
You can?
that's all you get.
What
Yeah.
the fuck? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know
if
that.
you hold the trigger, it will stop the cursor, so you can hold it in place, which helps a lot. Like later on down the road.
God, that would have been so much easier. Oh my
Yeah.
god. I wasted
know
so
that.
much time waiting for the reticle to like float back down.
I believe it's
also had-
it's in an info block somewhere. There's some info block I hit, and it told me that. There's also some sort of, and I never figured out what it was. There's some sort of alternate control scheme for the egg shooting, but it doesn't tell you what it is. It just this is what the info block says. It says there's an alternate control scheme for the egg shooting. Would you like to use it? Yes or no? And I was like, yeah, sure. I'll see what it is. They don't tell you what it is, and so I turned it on, and it was the same thing. I was like, okay, well that did nothing. Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, there's patient mode and hasty mode. And patient mode is you press A to aim and then you press it again to throw. Hasty mode is you hold A to aim and when you release it, it shoots. So it's like a little faster. That's hasty. Hasty is one less button push. That's hasty mode.
We learned something new on the show because I beat this game and I didn't know that. I also use save states consistently because
me too.
Yeah.
There gets to a point in the game though you got to use like ground pound a lot more, which I suck at.
There's some real complicated parts. Like this game likes its puzzles too. It likes making you have to figure out to do certain things in a certain order to get a key to open a door.
There was one castle in particular that, oh my god,
number
I've
4.
Never been so mad. I think so.
You gotta get the keys in the corners.
There's 4 rooms, in the corners, and you get one key. You're like, okay, cool, and then get to progress to the next thing. You get to the next room, and it's like, oh no, you need another key. All right, cool. No, all right, go get another key. Go back. Oh, you need another key. Well, fuck. I guess I got to just backtrack and go get the other ones. This sucks. It was annoying to figure that all out at the end. But yeah.
What are you saying, Stefan?
So this was my big contrast with the game is that it reminded me a lot of, which it should, Super Mario World 1.
Really?
And yeah, just the way it plays and like the open world and everything. And my biggest gripe with it was that I kept comparing it. So like things I liked in Super Mario World, it was like, I kind of wish I had them. Like throwing eggs compared to having a cape. It's like, why are we not playing that game? Like I just kept wanting to go back and play that Super Mario World.
Because on this show, we don't play popular games. We play strange games of a series for some reason all the time. Like our first Mario game on the show is
and GoldenEye 007.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the like key fundamental differences between Mario, like a regular mainline Mario game and this game, is like the hitboxes are really weird on this one. Like there are times where like you'll be on a platform with Yoshi and you will not believe that you can clear a thing, but you actually can stand straight up and his head isn't part of the hitbox or something. It's really weird. At least that was my experience. And in a Mario World game, like the hitbox is very clear. Mario is the hitbox. Where you see Mario at, it's almost pixel perfect. Whereas this one, it's a little bit wider because you're like accounting for Yoshi and like Mario, and at the same time, I think they're the hitbox. It's really unclear, and that was one of the things that I kept having problems with. Was like, okay, I got hit by something. I have no idea how it even hit me though. Like it almost seemed unfair at certain points, and it consistently made me mad. Like now I'm saying all this like I really didn't like the game, but I actually really did like this game. It kind of won me over in the end, but we'll get to all that.
Yeah. Well, see, it was that, and also the color scheme for whatever reason. Like in Super Mario World, it's just straight colors. Like if it's a rock, it's gray. And this one, it looks like a child got a crayon.
This one, it is made. You nailed it. It's basically made with a kid's drawing aesthetic, which is really nice. I actually like it. But there are certain levels where like even where you can land and where you can jump are very unclear. Like the snow level is one I keep thinking of, where you couldn't even like you jump on the platform, but you weren't even actually sure where the ground was because it was actually like way below where it's drawn in at.
Well, I noticed that sometimes they would try to make like things you couldn't land on have less of a thick black line around it, which is what they put on everything.
Yeah,
but it's still, in some cases, it actually didn't even add up perfectly for that either. So
Right.
it was really weird.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely like the first Mario World. I would dare say like the first Super Mario World is like almost a perfect game. Like that game's fantastic, like
Yes, it
top
is.
to bottom. It's one of my favorites of all time.
Oh yeah.
And like comparing this game to that game is really unfair. Like
It's
at some point,
completely different
at
game.
some point I had to stop doing it because I was doing the same thing where I was like, this is not a Mario World. This is not
Yep.
good. And
See, I kept
eventually I was like,
thinking-
this is its own thing.
I kept thinking this isn't a Mario game. This is a Kirby game. This is a Kirby game.
It
That somehow
does
has
feel
Mario.
like a Kirby game.
Exactly.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
It looks exactly like that Kirby aesthetic. Like all Kirby games kind of have those really bright colors, and even
Right.
later they did the whole like crayon aesthetic to them.
Yes.
And I was like, this is the first like crayon Kirby game. That's a
Yeah.
hard sentence to say.
No, you're absolutely right. It even has like the same like kind of eat your enemies mechanic. Not you don't absorb their power, obviously, but like yeah, it very similar to those. Yes.
Eat them just because you can.
Oh, and a correction from earlier: those things that abduct him are not called bandits; they're called toadies. So all those that were upset-
There are bandits in the game.
There
Yeah,
are
okay.
bandits. The bandits are the guys that
They're the blue-looking
run around
guys.
and you have to jump on them 3 times to kill them,
Yep,
and they like
Yeah.
they'll steal Mario and run away with him and all that stuff. Yeah,
There's a lot of that in this game.
indeed.
It's annoying as hell.
The
They
one
love to
thing-
steal.
There's one thing this game is missing, and that's Boshi.
Moshi's only in one game, which I really want to do on the show. But I don't know if you guys are up for playing through that game. Otherwise, it would be on the show. It's shorter than you think.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
What game is he from?
Super Mario RPG for Super Nintendo.
Oh, that game's fantastic. Yeah,
Oh.
it isn't that long of a game. It sounds really long, but it's really it was made to be a shorter RPG for like people that didn't know what RPGs were.
Yeah, it's a
So
good game.
yeah,
Oh,
it is. It's a
one
really
thing
good
A
game.
great little Yoshi character that I think he only shows up in that game, right? He
Yep.
doesn't show up
I
anywhere
believe so.
else.
Yes.
Oh, one thing I do want to mention: there's a funny level called Touch Fuzzy Get Dizzy, where essentially Yoshi gets high, and the whole world starts moving around. His eyes are all like, looks like are all like goofed up
Yes.
looking, and
Yoshi
It's hilarious
basically
as hell.
gets does drugs, and the entire world turns into an acid-induced dream sequence where you're like everything's wavy and floaty, and you're like jumping around, and like if you don't move, Yoshi will move himself, usually to the left in my experience, and he'll just jump and like fall off the cliff. And those are actually really fun. There's one level where like the platforming is really demanding. You have to be really on it. I think it's in like one of the last worlds, and that shows up. And I remember, yeah, I believe. I'm glad somebody remembers. Yeah,
I remember getting very upset with that level. I
yeah,
can't
you
remember
have-
the name of the level, but I know what you're talking about.
you had to be super careful not to hit him because as soon as you hit him, you were gonna fall off the platform. There was no. I'm sure if you were really good, you could jump right through it, but I was not that good, so I was like, nope, we're shooting eggs at all these things and carefully navigating this whole thing because this is a mess.
There's actually a list of supporting characters that can help you in this game. Some are like really stupid, like one's called Roger Lift, which is just a green lift that is moved by a ghost. But there's one that I didn't run into this game called Muddy Buddy, who covers Yoshi's feet so he can safely walk over spikes. I remember this, but I did not see it in this place.
Yeah, I didn't find that guy either.
My
has
buddy.
It
also
also has a Kirby appeal. It also has like a limbo appeal to it for some
Right.
reason. Especially when those fuzzies get involved. When those fuzzies came in, all I could picture, like all I could hear in my head was the Make It Bundem song from Far Cry 3 when you're burning the weed fields. Hard, like just hard Skrillex comes playing in.
Really want to play that game though someday.
That's great. It's too long for the podcast, but it's great.
Yeah.
It's
Like
way
this,
too
I mean,
long
that's
for the
one
podcast.
reason why I picked this is I always wanted to play through this because as a kid I never got past World 5. So I was like, I'm going to force myself to finally go back and play it. I mean, I use save states, but still, it was this show that made me finally do it.
I was surprised by how much game was in this game, and there's like almost 50 levels. There's a lot of game in this game.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it does.
Mhm.
It really like differentiates too. Like there's a lot of different levels, and it's not all Mario. Like Mario, I'm not talking down on Mario, but Mario is a pretty standard formula. You know, you
Right.
got the water level, you got the air level. This game like really throws in a bunch of different stuff.
For sure. And also, levels are very long a lot of the times, which sometimes I think it's to its detriment at certain points. There are times where I was like, I'm really sick of this level and I really want it to end, but it would just keep going. Some certain things are cool for a little bit, but like they kind of wore out their welcome. But I know why they're like that. This was, again, a Super NES game. They were like, hey man, we made these fucking monkeys for a reason. You're gonna enjoy this shit. You better appreciate these monkeys. We got a whole 20-minute level dedicated to them. So
I like the idea that Miyamoto talks like that.
Yes,
Hey,
he talks like a guy from the streets. He's from the streets of Japan.
Hardcore gangster.
Yep. He's a big fan of Dr. Dre. Hangs out with him all the time.
Got some Mario in this fucking game, yo.
What up with my boy Miyamoto though? Hey.
Poochie ain't stupid, dog.
And also, I
had to look up to see if
earlier,
Poochie was a Simpsons joke in this
Poochie's
game.
also a dog in this game. This is the first appearance of Poochie.
Yeah, Poochie ain't stupid. That's the name of the level. And I was like, did this game come before or after the famous Simpsons Poochie episode, where Poochie has to go back to his home planet?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Have you not seen the Poochie episode? It's like
I don't watch Simpsons.
Oh, it was early Simpsons. It was like one of the classics.
I was gonna say it depends on what year. If it was before 95, then it would have been inspired by The Simpsons. Yeah,
I looked it up. It was 97.
Well,
The Simpsons stole Poochie from
The
Yoshi.
Simpsons stole Poochie. You heard it here first.
I guess for the first and only time, Simpsons did it second.
Yep, that's right.
Unfortunately, they do most things first, so there's a lot of scary things they predicted that unfortunately came true.
Yeah.
So I actually like the mini bosses in this game. One, I don't want to mention all of them, but one I do want to. There's a couple I want to mention. One is Bert the Bashful, which is a big fat blob that you have to knock. You keep hitting him with eggs, and eventually he loses all his pants.
That was the first one, right?
Yeah. Bert the Bashful.
He was good.
A giant Bert. Like I guess you fight the other Berts in that level, right?
Yeah. This game does that a lot, where most of the bosses are little enemies that are then grown big by Kamek, who's trying to stop you quest as you're traveling across the island that's infiltrated with Bowser's minions to try to rescue Luigi.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, those Berts were really uncomfortable to me because they have like their hands down their pants. Somebody just fainted.
It's not me.
Sound like somebody fainted.
I dropped my phone because I just got a message from one of our fans of the show. It's 7:06 and we're 6 minutes past when I normally record it. So he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, your show's running late." I'm like, "Yeah." So he's a good friend of mine. Every week I talk to him. He'll be like, and he listens to the show.
Now he's on it.
Oh yeah.
Well, actually, his name is Richard Sampson. He has a YouTube channel, which I'm going to put a link in the show because I was thinking about it before.
Shout out.
He's a cool guy. It's just fun. I mean, it's just funny because we did Mega Man was our most messed up. Everything went wrong week. We did Mega Man back over 10 episodes ago, I think, at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Take an extra hour and figure out how to put air horns after the random shout outs.
I would love to do more things, but I don't know how much editing is going to get done in this episode, to be honest with you. It might not be up.
We'll see.
I need to get this up, and I got stuff I got to do. So.
Look, there was a hurricane. Give us a break. I don't know why I'm talking like this.
You're with the hurricane hit. But also
Mario influence.
Just playing some Yoshi. Give us a break.
Hey, it's a hurricane here.
Hey,
we're playing Yoshi's Island here. Hey,
get that out of here. Hey, not paying my taxes.
That is it's a flower pot with a ghost in it.
Ah, yes.
Push it off a cliff. While two little shy guys are pushing it, and all the thing can do is hit you to push you back. It's such a stupid boss fight, but it's fun. I don't know why.
I actually liked almost every boss fight. They were my favorite part of the game. There was a lot of care put into those boss fights. I loved the one where I don't remember who it was or what it was. It wasn't the turtle guy, but the turtle fight was pretty good too. But the one that swallows you and you go inside their stomach and you have to the frog. That's it.
It's Froggy.
Oh, that one is fantastic. You just have to fight from the inside of the stomach, and obviously, like asset wise, not too hard to make a stomach, but the fact that it's in there is really cool to me. And then like,
this
man,
time Yoshi's the one who gets eaten.
yes,
The tables have turned.
Because normally Kamek is always doing something to the enemy, but instead he shrinks you instead, and then you get eaten by the frog. And you, as you're inside this frog, shy guys are getting eaten. You got to eat the shy guy and shoot the big egg as sarcophagus. Or I know I said that wrong, or did I?
Yeah, make it vomit. Yeah.
Also, I don't know what end Yoshi comes out, and also I don't know how he grew back to normal size after that, because no magic was applied after that fight. He just is normal after it.
What if he came out and like him and Mario were fused together like Wonderfly?
Yeah, I hope that's what happened.
And that's just like the rest of the Mario games, you playing as like Yoshi Mario. It's like that's the canon from now on.
That Koopa that you mentioned, I did like that fight too. Hookbill the Koopa, where you have to like, and I mean like every boss fight gives you eggs in some shape or fashion.
Right.
Usually there's either eggplant or there's a little shy guy, something being produced. But for Hookbill, you have to knock him down. You have to jump on his head and pop out the eggs out of his mouth.
Yeah, that was really cool. A lot of them are really cool, and I think the last boss, the like Bowser fight, is like one of my favorite boss fights of all time in a Mario game. Like
that is good.
It was fantastic. That is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen on the NES or Super NES done.
I mean, you just have him in the background, that big sprite just coming towards you.
Oh, it's so cool. It took me a second to figure out what I was supposed to do, because I'm like, all right, I can dodge all this all the time. But how am I supposed to hit him? And then all of a sudden you figure it out, and it's like, oh, this is really cool. And like, you're just knocking him back, and then you win, and it's fantastic.
Are you talking about how there's an Angry Bird in this game?
What?
One of the Raphael the Raven looks like one of the Angry Birds.
He looks like the Blackbird, the bomb one. The bomb
like
you're talking
to
about.
a T. It's very odd. Very
Where
off-putting.
they got that idea from, Angry Birds, huh?
What if all the birds were secretly Yoshi characters? Naval Prime.
I didn't care for that fight with Raphael the Raven. I did not. Or you have to jump on a pole and knock a pole through the little planet you're on to hit him. I didn't. That was one of my least favorite.
I actually liked that one. I thought the concept was really cool. It did get a little like repetitive and kind of dumb at the end. I guess again, some of the parts in this game are really cool, but I think they drone on a little bit too long on them, and this was probably one of those instances. But I thought the overall setting of it was really neat, and the idea, like it's one of those like boss fights where you have to are like, okay, I don't have any eggs. How am I supposed to hit this person? And you have to like kind of figure out that, oh, I just have to make sure I'm on the opposite end of him and jump on the little pole or whatever. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
You can also jump on him to stun him so he stays put while you run around.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I was just juking him.
It's harder the way you did it. I didn't learn it right away. It took me a little bit, and I figured it out when I accidentally had to jump on him because he was in my way.
What's everybody's favorite anthropomorphic Yoshi vehicle? Yoshi promorphic? Maybe Yoshi promorphic, I guess. What was everyone's favorite Yoshi promorphic vehicle? I can't talk today.
None of them. Okay. They were all fucking awful.
Oh, I like that dumb helicopter.
Oh my god.
Helicopter, stupid.
Oh my god, they all control like trash. They're all bad. That is one thing in this game that needs to die immediately. I'm glad they never went back to it, or did they go back to it in some other Mario game that I'm unaware of?
I have no idea.
There's two other Yoshi Island games. There's Yoshi Island DS, which was almost on this show, and the new Yoshi's Island, which is on 3DS. Neither one of which I played.
Thank you. I was going to say I will never play those games because I imagine the vehicle parts are in there, and I never want to experience that again in my life.
I think Helicopter Yoshi shows up in Double Dash at some point.
Well, that's a different game. That's fine.
It's a cameo.
He's allowed, in that game. But
it would have been great if you could play as like the mold tank or something in Double Dash. That would have been awesome.
For those that are confused, there's certain bubbles in this game where Yoshi transforms into a different vehicle. So those are like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
For some completely unexplained reason.
Yep.
There's my favorite was the vehicle, which is essentially looked like Lightning McQueen from the Cars movie.
Yeah,
I like that thing a lot.
That one was weird to me because he doesn't have a nose, and all the other ones have noses. But like Yoshi doesn't have a huge nose.
Yeah.
I mean, Yoshi's got a nose, but Yoshi's nose is just the color of Yoshi. But when Yoshi becomes a helicopter, he's a green Yoshi with a red nose.
Right.
Yeah, but like that's not Yoshi's. Whose nose is that? Because that's not Yoshi's nose.
You're looking for reason in places where there is no reason.
Right. Well, again, this is a magical world where magic dictates the rules, so you have to remember that, I guess. But yeah, no, I hated all of these sections. Let's see. There's a helicopter. There's a submarine. The submarine was fucking dreadful.
The submarine was awful.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Hated that part.
There's a mole tank. And
the mole tank. Yeah,
Mole tank is annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying because it's never quite clear where you're going to go control-wise. It seems off. Something is not quite right about it. Now, there's usually like no pressure when you're the mole tank, at least from what I remember, because it's like usually
the pressure of the Earth's core.
Yeah, and the time limit that you have.
I said that with such enthusiasm.
No, that was fantastic. Thank you for that. But yeah, like the helicopter parts, like especially there's one at the end that was just fucking miserable. And I remember so this was a funny story that happened to me during the game. There's a helicopter part during the end where you have to dodge all the Goonies, which are like seagull enemies that like kind of swoop in at you, and you can get hit by them and the helicopter will fall to its death because I don't know, it just can't recover from that. But fucking I got through it the first try. Nailed it. I was like, okay, gotta save state this. Press the wrong button. Press the wrong button. Loaded my previous save. Had to do it over again. Took me 20 more times to get through this. I've never been so angry and turned off by a thing. I was like, I never want to do these vehicles again. These are the worst ever.
Regardless, everybody knows that the mole tank was best because the mole tank had sunglasses.
That is true. Okay, you make a good case there.
Because moles are blind, I guess, and so the tank had to wear sunglasses to show that he was
sunglasses
blind.
underground, so he can see the light right in front of his eyes.
Did the skis count as a vehicle?
No, but you do get skis in this game for absolutely no reason. But yes,
I actually liked that part. That part was pretty
fun. I died a lot, but it was fun.
Reminded me a lot of
Andy turned to a snowball.
Yeah, that was cool too. It reminded me a lot of Donkey Kong Country, where you're like in the minecart, but this was a little less annoying than the minecart level.
I actually went recently, last year before we started the show, went and played some Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2.
Yeah, those minecart levels are not fun. Donkey Kong Country relies on memorization to get through a level. Like it's like, hey, you need to know what's coming up. You are going to die if you do not know. So have fun with that. Although watching a speed run of it is hilarious because there's always some way to cheat every single level and get straight to the end.
Wish I would have known as a kid.
Yeah, me too. I watched it. I was like, oh, that's all they had to do? Oh, well, I feel dumb.
I'm always interested in how Nintendo like decides which games are gonna be the games where they like test new features and stuff. Like the skis never showed up in any other Nintendo game before this, did they? Was that a first for Yoshi's Island?
I'm assuming it was.
Certainly the vehicles were. I can't think of any other Nintendo game where you like transformed into a vehicle and flew around. I guess like no, because the Tanuki suit wasn't even in the first Mario. I don't think.
No, number 3.
I was gonna say that didn't show up till 3.
So it's always odd to me when like Nintendo decides like, okay, this is gonna be the game where we just like throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. Like, fuck it, you can become a vehicle and you get skis and you can turn into a snowball and there's a lot of like pushing puzzles for like a Yoshi game.
Yeah, for sure. This is a weird game that I respect a lot. Like I said, it's super ambitious, especially like this was like I said before, this was 95 when all the like 3D stuff was starting to hit and games were clearly moving in that direction, and Nintendo came out with this. So, and like also like even the Super Nintendo, you had things like Donkey Kong Country. I believe that had already come out, and if I remember right, this is either a theory or something that I've heard before, but like I believe Nintendo put pressure on Miyamoto to have his next game look more like Donkey Kong Country, and he said, "Ha! I'm gonna make Yoshi's Island take that. It's gonna be all kids' drawings and cool stuff. And
There's
like,
I do that.
something like that. I don't remember, but there's a fake quote where he said,
Right.
"I don't make a bullshit game," but there's a quote something like that where he didn't copy, he did something.
Oh,
different, but I don't know what it is.
I almost want to say that's the game delay quote, but I could be wrong.
I can't remember where it's from. I know what you're talking about though, because I listen to too many podcasts sometimes.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, like this game came out and like, but it's funny because this game would hold up. This one looks a lot better than like a Donkey Kong Country to me anyway. The Donkey Kong Country looks really bad now, and this game looks really good.
I'm just gonna give everybody this gift real quick. So I googled Miyamoto funny quote, and just everybody, just take a moment. Everybody listening, take a moment, pause the podcast. We'll still be here. Just go to Google Images and Google Miyamoto funny quote, and just read everything.
And if you're driving, pull over first. So.
The first Miyamoto funny quote is, "So you know, cats are interesting. They're kind of like girls. If they come and talk to you, it's great. But if you try to talk to them, it doesn't always go so well."
I feel like you could almost do that with any Japanese game developer because they're all insane in some way, shape, or form, in my experience.
Isn't that great? Miyazaki, like all of Miyazaki fake quotes where he's like, "Anime was a mistake," like this is total bullshit.
I mean, and then you have people like Suda51 who are just absolutely insane, or you have people like Yoko Taro who is probably insane.
Oh my god!
But I love Yoko Taro.
I have to read this. I don't know. I don't remember if he actually said this. I think this is from like the Nintendo Labo thing. I hope it's real. Oh, hold on. I need to take a minute to breathe. Cardboard is the future. I have already replaced my son with a son made from cardboard. I loved my cardboard son, but he did not love me back. So I put him out in the rain. My son is dead. Shigeru Miyamoto.
I found that quote too.
I was gonna say I don't think that's real, but I really want it to be real.
I doubt it's real, but oh my god.
All right, there are two bosses. Before we get to listener questions, there are two bosses I do want to touch on real fast. One that I feel like was just strange as hell, and I feel like is an adult reference that is Sluggy the Unshaven, which is a ghost you have to shoot eggs at to hit its heart.
Oh yeah.
It's just, to me, just the word Sluggy Unshaven just ends up making me think of X-rated stuff for some reason. I don't know why, but that's what comes to my head.
I didn't have that same issue. No.
It's just me. I'm special.
The rest of my fucking week is gonna be reading me a quotes. Oh my god. I gotta close this.
Wait till we're done. It won't be that much, and it won't be too much longer. And then also, I do like the fight when you first meet Baby Bowser before he becomes Big Baby Bowser, and he's like, he sees you riding Yoshi, he's like, I like that, I want that. And the whole fight is him trying to jump on Yoshi so he can ride Yoshi instead of Baby Mario. And I mean, I like to think that that's how the whole thing started. He wouldn't let him ride Yoshi, so now they're enemies for life.
Right, and he can ride Yoshi. If you let him jump on you, he will get on Yoshi, and he'll ride around on you, which is kind of fun until you get Mario back.
I like to think that this was the game that made Kojima fall in love with like Mario and Miyamoto. Because you have Baby Bowser, and then of course the next form of Baby Bowser is Big Baby Bowser.
Right.
And like there's the boss in World 3 is like Naval Piranha, and that sounds like the most Metal Gear enemy of all time.
Yes, it does sound like a Metal Gear fight, doesn't it? Naval Piranha.
Snake, Naval Piranha. I've been looking for you.
Cheeky monkey.
Gray Fox told me where to find you, Naval Piranha.
Super baby method. Yeah, this is clearly a culmination of the super baby method. This is exactly how that worked out.
Oh, and one thing we didn't mention, there's also Super Baby Mario you can get, or Powerful Mario he's called.
Oh yeah.
You get a star, and then he puts on a little cape and his diaper, and he's running along invincible with Yoshi inside an egg behind him. It's hilarious.
It is fun.
Great.
Those are basically like speedrun sequences. Like you just have to get a certain length in the level in a certain time frame, and then you beat the level, or beat that part anyway, and you change back. Yeah.
Oh, also there are a bunch of different bonus challenges which we didn't mention.
I was just about to mention that.
If you get the flowers throughout the level, there's like 6 different bonus levels you can get to earn extra lives or other. I mean, some of them are kind of cool where you get more items you can hold in your inventory, like in Super Mario, like I feel like in Super Mario, like Super Mario 3, and you can drop items that you need. Like, hey, you need some extra lives? Here's some extra lives. You need some eggs? Here's a full egg. So there's some cool stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
There's like the first one I got like a POW block and what else did I fucking get now? I'm completely losing my mind. I
know you're telling me the story. I'm just listening.
I got a POW block and I think like you get like 10 lives, 20 lives. Fuck, what else? I think I got like a chomp rock. I got something weird.
You get melons. You can get a bunch of dumb crap.
Yeah, I got.
I got a balloon. I got a balloon, but I didn't know how to use it for a while, and I was like, "Oh my god!" It just lets you like float into the distance. It just cuts out the entire platform. It's great.
Yeah, there was like one like mini game. The first one I got was like a balloon throwing mini game where you had to toss it back and forth between a bandit, I believe, and they would catch it and throw it back to you, and you had to input a button combination, and then you'd throw it back.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah, it was fine. I did it okay.
Mini battles. Those aren't even the bonus thing I was talking about. I forgot about those.
That's great. Like it breaks up the game. It's like, hey, we're gonna throw in a little extra bit in there in the middle for you.
I will say that, especially with this being on the the Switch SNES now, if you're listening to this, it's definitely worth playing. At least I am.
For sure.
But
absolutely.
You might not enjoy it, but it's definitely worth playing to experience it. I wouldn't say beat it, but just experience it.
I mean, here's the thing. Also, it's if you have a Switch, it's free. Just you can get all the you can get a shitload of SNES games.
It's not free. You have to have the online service.
You have to have the online.
That is the caveat.
But that's real.
If you have a Switch, you probably have the online service.
I actually don't have the online service because their online service is trash.
Well, if you have a Switch listener, then you probably have the online service. And if you don't, get it and get the SNES. So.
All right. Are you guys ready to move on to listener questions?
It also has a Link to the Past, and I think Star Fox is on there. Well, it's got a bunch of good games.
One amazing game and one game I will probably never play.
It should be noted that I'm actually probably going to get the online service now that there's Super Nintendo games on it. That's pretty much what I was waiting for. So
yeah. And they have the original. They have original NES games on there too.
Yeah. I didn't really care about those when it came out. There wasn't anything I was like, oh man, I'm dying to play like this random game again.
Yeah, but me and you got emulators, so we're like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah. PC is pretty nice, but
and it's completely free. All you have to do is get the service. It's $300 on the Switch.
For the record, this is the only game I have emulated in a very long time. Just in case Julian Titus is listening, it is true. That is true. Actually, I really don't. I usually like. For a lot of games that I have emulated in the past, or like even now, like I said, I tried to give Nintendo money for this. They just wouldn't take it because my 3DS doesn't connect to the Wi-Fi anymore. I don't know what that's all about. But I tried to give them money. Wouldn't work.
It's like if the easier you make something to get, the more likely people are going to pay for it. That's just a basic rule of business. If you make something easy to pay for, people will pay for it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And now I like go out of my way to like buy games that I've played emulated and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, so, I'll go if I can get a game, I will go out of my way to get it. But
me too.
Like some stuff, it's just so hard to get copies of some games. Like I mean, you're not gonna be able to find a copy of like the original Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
And an old NES to play it on. Like you're gonna have to find either an arcade version of it or get the. I guess now you can get it on the Switch, but
yeah, it's funny because
it's just hard to get a hold of.
It's funny because they announced the Switch Online thing for the Super NES and had Yoshi's Island on there. I was like, well, if I wasn't already halfway through the game, I would totally play it on that. But
well, also
it was like perfect timing too.
Yeah,
for us
with emulators. Like a lot of the games on the show I have played emulated, but I went and bought it on PS1 Classic and then I played the emulation because I had save state. So
yeah,
I usually end up buying the game in some form or but some like you can't. If they'll sell it to me online in this current age on a current system or even like a non-current system like last gen, I will buy it. But if they're like, yeah, you got to go track down an old copy from eBay, and I'm like, that's nice.
How they came back with like the Mega Man games was perfect. The Mega Man Legacy Collection. It's exactly the same as the SNES on the Switch, where you have like the rewind and the save states. It's the perfect way to bring back old games.
Yeah, and like a lot of like emulators, like you were talking about, how like some of them are crap or whatever when you buy them or whatever. Yeah, a lot of those are bad emulators. Like I know, like that's why the mini PSX failed so hard, is because the emulation on it was so bad. They used like like the European copies or something like that, and they were really bad. And yeah, so that's like if you're gonna emulate games and put them on a thing like that, you got to make sure that stuff's good. People do notice the difference. Like it's a thing.
Speaking of
PSX has got a lot better.
I just bought one.
Oh yeah.
At GameStop for $20. I went into a GameStop. It was $20 now, and I'm like, hey, I've been waiting for this price, so I bought it. I'm just gonna hack it.
For what?
Put all. They're $20 now. PS1 Classic.
Yeah.
At least they are at GameStop as of last week.
I believe it. They got to move them somehow because they thought they were going to go like the SNES Classic did, and it didn't happen for them because the emulation was bad.
I mean, if you're into emulators and ROM, I mean, like I own a lot of the games I want to play again. I own anyway somewhere, but I'm not gonna hook up PS1, so I'm just gonna play them that way.
I've gotten so many $20 consoles from GameStop. I have 2 or 3 GameCubes, I think, in my house right now. They're all. I went to GameStop and they were just like they had a pile of GameCubes, like a literal pile, and they were like, "Yeah, it's $20 for a GameCube." I was like, "It's $20 for a GameCube?" They're like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Do you have like GameCube games with it?" And he's like, "Yeah, they're like $1. Like we'll just throw them in." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
That is pretty lucky, man. Hell yeah.
They're GameCube out of the 3 systems of that era. GameCube are the more expensive ones now.
I believe it
by a lot.
Oh yeah, Nintendo stuff always holds up like that. Always does.
That's why I don't buy Nintendo systems because I love to go to game stores and buy a bunch of cheap games under $10. And with Nintendo, it's like, do I want to buy this $60 game or this $60 game that came out 5 years ago?
Well, yeah, they just don't go down in price unless it's a third-party game. Yep.
I think we'll get to a point eventually where the GameCube Classic comes out for like the Switch Pro or whatever.
I'll fucking buy it.
Oh yeah. I guarantee. Yeah, they'll do the 64 first, but I can definitely see the GameCube.
The 64, I feel like almost has to be like this might be presumptive, but and Nintendo's usually better than this. But in my mind, there are so many amazing titles on the 64.
Was there?
No, I think there was.
There was Mario 64,
Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Banjo-Kazooie.
Favorite game.
Oh, I guess I don't like these. I don't have as much reverence for the
GoldenEye 007.
Oh, that game is trash. Yeah. Have you played that one recently?
Play a podcast.
Yes,
yeah.
Oh God, I'm sorry you guys had to do that. Oh, that sounds so bad. Oh.
All right, I think we should go to listener questions.
We should.
Before I give Nintendo $1 million idea. Just re-release the 64 by itself.
Yeah.
Okay. First question I have from Brad, who rung, however you pronounce his name. Wah 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 wah. Okay, not a question, but I was really allowed to read that on the show.
Thanks, Brad.
It's become question / memory / comments. I kind of give it up. Just like, hey, whatever you guys want to write to me, I might.
Well, we should reply to it then if it's a question. Hold on. Wah 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 wah. Hope that sealed it up.
Very Charlie Brown.
Yeah, exactly. Wah 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 wah.
All right, this is an actual question from Michael K. Hughes, who actually will be on the show in a few weeks. Obviously, it has to be favorite music track. I can't answer this question. So
I absolutely can.
Okay.
The best music track is at the very end of the game. I don't know what it's called. It's just called Yoshis Island Final Music Track. I'm sure there's an actual name to it. Yeah. It's where the end credits plays and you're flying away on the stork because you saved the stork. You saved Baby Mario and Luigi. That's the ending of the game. Spoilers, but I guess that's what we do on this podcast. And it is a fantastic track. It is. I didn't even know that the Super Nintendo could make that type of piano sound. Like it sounds like it's just gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous composition. Like I'd put it up against any Final Fantasy track like almost ever made. Like just the way it sounds is just so beautiful. They really knew what they were doing. Like this was the Super Nintendo at its full capability. It is a absolutely gorgeous track. The rest of the game is fine. Some of the music gets a little repetitive, but I mean, it's what do you expect? But that song is fantastic. Go out of your way to listen to it.
That's the song that plays at the end of the game, right?
Yes.
That song is called Ending.
Yeah, there you go. It's so good.
And I want to read this from Emmanuel, who's on the show last week. He said, also, this is the superior Super Mario World game. You are wrong, sir.
You are wrong. It's a good Super Mario World game, but it is not better than regular Super Mario World.
I don't know.
There's more crazy shit in it, but I am more fun Super Mario World. But.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a fine Super Mario World game. I mean, there's only 2 of them. It's a fine game, but
good point.
It's not as good as the other one. We'll put it like that.
This game has more screaming Yoshis in it.
More screaming freaking babies too. But also, this is from Michael Irving. It's not really a question, more a memory. He said, "I remember one of my younger brothers trying to convince me that there's a special rainbow Yoshi if I did some crazy thing."
Thank God for the fucking internet. Like, that's all I can say. I have so many fucking stories of friends, like we would just go out of our way to lie to each other about making up shit in old games. Thank God the internet exists. Like, I don't ask anybody anything about games anymore. I go straight to like IGN walkthroughs or like an old game facts or something, an occasional wiki. I'm never asking any human being anything about a video game from now on.
No, you should always ask the internet everything about video games. What are you talking about?
That shit was like so rampant. I remember when Elder Scrolls Oblivion came out, we found out that there was a dungeon where if you like went in and sat on a throne, a mace would come down and hit you in the face and kill you.
Nice.
We told everybody, every single friend of mine, we told that if you go into this dungeon and sit on that chair, like a lich will come out and he'll have a special sword, and that's the only way to get the sword in the game.
Oh, so a mace would hit him.
I still know it was called Fort Urasek because we called it the Sword of Urasek.
Nice.
We it was the fucking Wild West back then. Just blatantly lie to people, have people play the game like over and over and over again. Be like, oh well, if you beat in 1 hour, you unlock invincibility mode.
We actually did a whole episode about stuff like that on Nerds Without Pants about video game conspiracy theories, where about people just things that you heard on the playground as a kid. A lot of people like that. The most popular one was Mortal Kombat because Mortal Kombat just had so much stuff like that where people were just like, "Oh man, you can totally uppercut a guy into the tree in the living forest. It's totally cool." And then like that was never a thing, but.
We talked about Metal Gear. Like, Metal Gear likes to throw so much random shit in those games.
Oh, there's a lot of cool Easter eggs in those, yeah.
It just ruins any idea of like, well, this is real. It's like, well, it's Metal Gear, so it must be real.
All right, got a couple other things I want to read. One from Lucas London. Am I the only one who tortured the monkeys in that game? They were such assholes that I just had to kick them around for a few minutes. Yes,
I like how you almost censored yourself.
I know, because he wrote it a-holes. I'm like, why am I doing it? They're fucking assholes. We swear this all the time.
It's like the exact opposite of any other scenario. They were such assholes.
Yeah, those monkeys are assholes, and you were right to do it. I didn't do that myself because I was just trying to get through the game as fast as I could. But yeah, they were assholes.
I beat this game pretty fast too. With save state, it doesn't take too long.
No.
As long as you don't take a break and turn off your emulator, then find out it didn't save, Stefan, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, one last thing I want to read from Andrew G, because I have no idea how to pronounce his last name. He said, Yoshi's Island holds a special place in my heart. Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World, and Doom were the games that we played daily at daycare on the communal SNES. The older I get, the more positive I'm that Yoshi's Island is my favorite SNES game. My favorite Mario game might be the game that holds up the best from the SNES. I don't agree.
That's high praise.
It holds
high
up.
Praise, Nick.
I will say it holds up well for an SNES game. It definitely holds up good. I don't know if it's the one that holds up the absolute best, but it holds up.
Does anyone besides us get the high praise joke at this point?
I don't even get it. I forget what it's from. I know we talked about it on the show, but I can't remember.
Just everyone look up SNL high praise or something.
All right. It's time to go to Show for Box, right?
You will.
All right. I'm going to go first because I tend to go first. So I'm putting this game on the shelf. Will I play it again? Probably not. But it means a lot to me as a kid because it's something my mom bought me, and it was a game that I remember playing a lot as a kid. I never beat it. I got to World 5 or maybe World 6. Probably beginning of World 6 and never just felt like trying enough to get past it. But I've always liked this game. And finally playing back and beating it felt good to finally even though you saved it, but it still felt good to finally see the end of this game and conquer it. It's going on the shelf, but just show off, like, you should play this game. But I have no plan to touch it ever again. How about you, Justin?
Me, I also will shelf it. I will admit that when I first started playing this game, I absolutely fucking hated it. I thought a lot of parts of it were complete trash and garbage. Once it got to a vehicle section, I was like, what the hell are we doing here? But by the end of it, like, it really won me over. There's just a certain level of charm to it that I really like. And while I've said it a lot here, this definitely isn't the best Mario game. In fact, it may be like one of my least favorite Mario games. Like maybe like right above Mario 2. I don't know. It's down there, but it's still a good game. It's still a good Mario game, and yeah, it deserves to be on the shelf. I'm like you. I will never play this game again. I will go out of my way to never play it again. But I'm glad that I did play it. So,
Stefan, how about you? I think I know where this is going, but
yeah, no, there's this inner voice in me the whole time that just kept saying, "Hey, dumbass, go play Super Mario World. Why are you playing this?
His name
Go play
is Mike,
Super Mario
the one
World."
messaging you.
Yeah.
Yes, it was me messaging like, "Hey, go play the game. Come on, man."
See, my problem was I was on the
No,
Switch, and so my inner voice was just going, Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem,
Fire Emblem. Oh, don't get me started about Fire Emblem. It's such a good game.
revolt against the
Anything.
church, unite the gays.
Put 200 hours into Fire Emblem.
Anything other than this. Yeah. That was going on a lot. So I'm putting it in the box because I honestly just didn't have that much fun with it. And
Understandable.
the art scheme with it, I appreciate Super Mario World 1's more. I just kind of like the more direct approach rather than like scribbles and weird fucking pink bushes. Like that stuff doesn't really turn me on in a Mario game. Go figure.
Understandable.
But yeah, so I'm just putting it in the box.
It's a lot of quirky gimmicks that you're either going to really find charming or really grow to despise. So I totally get it either way. Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yep.
And Stu, how about you?
This is you cut out, but I'm assuming you're asking me my opinion.
Oh yeah.
This is a weird one for me because I don't like platformers all that much. I think I say that, but I think every platformer we played I put on the shelf.
Yep. You said a lot for Magic Kazooie.
I should say, for full disclosure, I don't like platformers that much either. So yeah.
I don't either.
I can't stand platformers. It's not that I hate them, I just suck at them, and so I tend to not enjoy them because I'm so bad at them.
Same
as a
here.
result.
Same here.
Yeah. But like, playing this on the Switch, playing like the version where I can rewind and save whenever I want, it took away. Admittedly, it takes away any of the difficulty of the game. Really, I mean, there's still difficulty in it, but it's a lot less difficult than it would be if you were just trying to beat the game in one sitting. And I really found the game. I really found the visuals charming. Like they really fit me. Something about like how like cartoonish and like childish they are. Something about that art style. Like I used to hate that art style a lot. Like I remember.
Right. Me too.
I was one of those people when Kirby's Epic Yarn came out. I was like, that game looks stupid. And it's like over time, I was like, I keep thinking about that game. I think I might actually like that kind of childish style. I think I like that like the scrappiness and sketchiness of it all. And so it's difficult because I don't love the platformer aspect of it, but I did have a lot of fun looking at this game and listening to this game.
Right.
I think it's also going on my shelf. I don't think I'm going to play it again myself, but I think I would gladly watch somebody else play it at any point.
Yeah. I like how all three of us are like, we're never playing this shit again, but it's a good game.
It's like, it was fun for me in some
Right.
parts. It was genuinely fun. I just don't know if I'd ever pick it up over
No.
like any other game.
Yeah, exactly.
But I certainly like looking at it, and I certainly like listening to it.
Yeah. That definitely akens back to like how people hated Wind Waker too, because it looks so kiddie and shell shaded, and they
now
hated
people like worship that game now. It's like,
It's a good
Yeah.
game.
I know so many people that are like, oh, this game, like people talk about like it was like the second coming of fucking Zelda. I'm like, I remember this game came out, you wouldn't fucking touch it because it looked like a kid's game.
and it was a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's
So,
beautiful.
yeah.
It's a
Bunch
beautiful
of video
game.
gaming
mean,
edgelords.
A lot of it is because they saw that demo for the other Zelda game where it looked more realistic, and instead we got Wind Waker. I think that played a huge part in why people were so angry with it because they felt cheated.
Right.
So
See, I would still rather go back and play Wind Waker than like Twilight Princess, though.
Twilight
Yeah.
Princess still holds up on the HD version. I
It's
played
still
it recently.
great, but like like just those art styles, I would much rather be in the Wind Waker world for 200 hours than the Twilight Princess world for 200 hours. That's how long it takes me to beat a Zelda.
Well, speaking of other Nintendo games, Stu, do you want to introduce what we're playing next week?
Sure.
You don't remember.
Quickly looks it up.
Give me a second. I got it. Just keep talking. I'm just definitely not opening Messenger.
It involves a guy picking little plants out of the ground and
some kind of like man that picks. Is it
Harvest Moon?
Man?
Pikmin.
See,
Next week we will be playing Pikmin for the game. See, I knew the whole time that was all a bit. I definitely wasn't panicking.
I put it in the outline that I send you guys every week.
This is like the first week I didn't open it up because I was in such a hurry. Like I walked in the door, sat down, and immediately like logged into my computer and shut everything out. I was like, we gotta go.
Well, actually, the funny thing is, while we've been recording, because I thought we'd be done sooner. I'm supposed to bring my wife food, so she's waiting on me to bring her food. So,
I like how you even wrote mention next week's game, Pikmin in parentheses, Stuart.
I always do that. Every outline, whoever game it is, because this is actually Pikmin was your pick a very long time ago. Like Galaxy Far, Far Away, called after episode 13.
That was a long time ago.
You get to play through.
I don't want to play it anymore. Let's just play Ace Combat.
Yeah, let's do it. Space elevator, here we come.
All right, hey,
I'm on it.
Are your guests? Do you want to give a shout out to your podcast?
Yeah, I have two different podcasts that I'm also on. I'm on the Nerds Without Pants podcast. That is hosted by Julian Titus, who has also been on this show before. And let's see, what did we do this upcoming episode here? We turned popular video game franchises into dating sims, and we put Final Fantasy VII against Quest 64 in a video game cage match. So go check that out. And also, I host another podcast that is not a video game podcast, although I do talk about video games a lot on it, called Clickbait Update, which is me and my sister, and we talk about internet clickbait lists. And this week we looked at a list that ranked clickbait articles by title. It was the most meta thing we ever did. And yeah, so go check that out if you find me halfway entertaining, I guess.
And there will be a link to both his podcasts in the show notes, along with the other podcast that I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the show called the Next Nothing Podcast. So if you need a few more podcasts to add to your rotation, and also, Justin, when you talk to Julian, tell him to put Nerds Without Pants on Stitcher, because I really want to listen to it, but I only use Stitcher, and I don't want to go out of my Stitcher. He's not on Stitcher yet.
I'll have to ask him about that. I'm not sure how all that stuff works. He handles that one, so
it's I don't know exactly what he uses. I know he uses Pixelbit, right? Is what website you guys are on?
Yeah.
I know, I use Podbean as an RSS feed, and I submitted it to a bunch of things. But
I'm guessing it's the same thing. It's just an RSS feed. That's on.
I bugged him before about it, but since you're on the show, I want to have you bug him.
I should probably put my podcast on Stitcher too, but guess what? I just can't be bothered to do it. I'm like, Apple Podcast is the only one that matters. It's fine.
Welcome to
Stitcher. I have no idea. Stitcher is one of the top 3, but most of our listeners are Spotify. I found out. So
there you go.
Oh, really? Right. Yeah, and also we finally got the shirt design colored, so maybe it will be coming this year. Who knows? But we're getting there, guys. It's coming.
See.
We finally found a guy to color it, and we got the image. We just gotta use a couple more things and then get it up and running.
And I'm working on a new logo for us that, if I get going, we'll put an official shirt and make it look pretty. And that's what I do. That's my job.
You can look forward to that in 2021. We should have it up and running.
Yeah.
That's right. We're going. All right.
I don't have any whale facts this week, but I do have a Yoshi fact, actually, if we want to do that.
Sure, we'll take a Yoshi fact.
So I had to look it up, but I remember Yoshi having a actual scientific name that Nintendo put out for him. So Yoshi has an official scientific designation. He is a T. Yoshisaur Munchakoopas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That would have been better if I didn't stumble my way through it.
No, that's fine.
Don't worry. All that will be edited out. I promise.
He's a Tyrannosaurus Yoshisaur. Yoshisaur. There we go.
Really, I promise I will edit the entire thing. Yep. 100%.
Go watch Miyamoto's quiz.
Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where I do post images for the upcoming game. Also, our awesome intro and outro came courtesy of Bulby, aka Mike Stoney, from his EP "Bite the Bullet." The song is the Cool Kid Squad. There'll be a link to him in the show notes. Yeah, I know I said it completely in the wrong order, and that's always will. I want to thank everyone for listening. Everyone have a wonderful night. This should hopefully be up an hour.
All right. You're probably just going to upload it, huh, Mike? You're not even going to edit it.
Close. I'm going to do a little bit of editing.
I was going to say you got to trim the beginning and the end, and then you're good.
Oh, the intro on there.
I like to edit usually, but this is supposed to have been up an hour ago, and I know it's going to take a little bit to get it to me, and I got to go get dinner for my wife, and yeah.
To be fair, there wasn't. I don't think there's too much that you would even have to edit. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of awkward silence or anything like that you'd have to edit. Nobody really there's no pregnant pauses that I can think of, like too pregnant anyway.
I cut out all pauses on a normal edit.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't like. I shorten. I do a bunch of stuff like that because I just don't like it.
Absolutely.
But I listen to a lot of shows like Comic Conspiracy and Geekbox, and they have the pauses. You can tell they don't edit out. I'm like, you guys didn't edit that, guys. But
sometimes I leave pauses in depending upon if it adds to a joke or something, because sometimes that's funny to me.
Especially how I knew about Julian Titus, because he has a plug in the Comic Conspiracy podcast because he's one of their Patreon.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew him. I'm like, I was so excited to get him on the show because I'm like, I know who he is.
Yeah. Are we still recording?
We are still recording. Everyone have a wonderful night, everybody. Bye.